Kimmi. I forgot who I was, y'all. Actually, in case you did not know, I changed the name of the channel recently. So we're going to let YouTube notify everyone that I am live. And then we're going to just talk about some things. You know, I always got a story. Some things happened today. The weather is horrendous where I'm at, but I'm not complaining because I'm enjoying my snow day. So whenever you are watching this, I don't know if you got a snow day going on, or if you got a summer day going on, but whatever, the information is still applicable. All right, so welcome. We'll give YouTube a few minutes to do its thing. Welcome to those on the replay and those who will listen to the podcast, okay? So how is it going today? How is it going? Is the weather bad where you are? I'm in Georgia, but I'm your #1 notary educator. I teach all 50 states, and pretty bad here today. So yeah, I had to turn down a notarization. Let me write down what I'm talking about, because I've been and forgot, because I do go off track. I turned down a notarization today. Actually, 2. And the second one was because of the weather. Okay, we're going to talk about both of them. So, how's it going? Welcome. And some of you may not even be in a position to watch this. I mean, I know we got fires going on in California. We're praying for everyone, everywhere. The winter climate is happening here in Georgia. I mean, it's just a lot going on, people. It's just a lot going on. So, I understand if you cannot make it live. I understand. But I'm going to you know, we're going to still have our conversation today. And hey, Ava, how are you? Hey, welcome, everybody. So we'll get right into it. Those who are joining can go back and catch it, because I have an actual live mentorship tonight. Tonight, we are talking about how to certify a copy in the mentorship program. If you don't know how to certify a copy, even if your state says you cannot, have you actually read the handbook? Do you understand it? Because I have somebody right now. Hey, Lisa, what's up, girl? I'll see you shortly in mentorship. Yeah, I have a person right now that thinks that they cannot do a certified copy. So that's why it's so important to read your handbook, because you may think, oh, I cannot do something, and not knowing what your handbook says, you could be costing yourself money. This is not what I came on here to talk about, but I'm going to tell you anyway right quick. When I first started, I had an elderly lady that had a power of attorney. She had a driver's license. It was 10 years expired. 10 years. She must have been probably 80-something, and her ID was expired. So I told her daughter initially, hey, I can't do it. Mom's ID is expired. Well, did Kimmi read her handbook? I did. I read it cover to cover, but I just didn't recall that. And what I should have did, because it had been a moment since I had started, I should have went back to look at my handbook to see what it said. That's what I should have did. That would have been proper protocol. Hey, everybody, welcome. But because I didn't do that, I told her daughter, I said, hey, I can't do this notarization. Well, why would I say that not knowing what my handbook says? So can you accept an expired ID in your state? Do you know the answer to that? I did a whole video on that before. So I'm going somewhere with this. So I almost cost myself $100, because that's what I was charging for that particular job, because I was telling her, no, I cannot accept mom's ID. But in my state handbook, it does not say that I cannot take an expired ID. It has to have certain pieces of information on there. See, Patricia's saying absolutely not. But are you saying that because you're saying no, or because you know what your state handbook says? Some handbooks say you can take an expired ID up to 5 months. Some say 5 years rather. Some say there is no expiration. It just has to have certain features, like my state, okay? So I say that because I almost cost myself some money. I don't want you costing yourself money because you don't understand what your law says. You're misinterpreting what your law says. So if I ask you, can you do a certified copy, and you tell me straight up no, but you don't actually know if that's factual, or you read the law incorrectly, then you're costing yourself money, because your clients will need to have a certified copy. Why? And we're going to talk about this in class tonight, but I'm going to give you a snippet for you. I'm going to give you a snippet right now. That's how I do. But your client might need a certified copy. They may be traveling. Okay? That may be one reason. It's a lot of different reasons why your client may need a certified copy. And you just straight out saying, no, I can't do that. then you may be costing yourself money. Okay? And that's the whole point of this. So number 2 is, I want to talk, what I came on here to talk about is why I turned down a job today. I had 2 that I turned down. One of them, the first one is why I really want to talk about it. So this is a scenario. I've had it before. I talked about it on here before, but it happened again today. I had a client. He has a child. The child wants to go and live with one of the other parents, right? The parent called me and said, hey, I need my child to sign this document for the attorney. I need you to notarize it for the child. Mom doesn't know. Okay? I hate these kind of cases. I don't like these kind of signings. I just don't, because I am a woman and I would be livid if someone took my child, and I don't know the circumstance. That's what I told the dad. I don't know. I don't know all your business. I don't even want to know. But I just don't do those type of notarizations in my business. Okay? Now, is there anything wrong with notarizing for a minor? Not per my state, and probably not per your state. Minors do receive documents. You just have to know the process. I've notarized for many minors, okay? Many minors. A lot of them, okay? But I don't do these particular transactions because they just don't align with my values. And what is that? Because the guy asked me, he said, well, what do you have to do with it? I mean, you know, what business is it of yours, basically? And he wasn't mean about it, but I just told him, I said, well, I don't particularly like to get into these type of cases, you know, because mom doesn't know. And that's what he said. Well, I'm getting a child under this circumstance, under that circumstance. And I just don't like them. I just do not particularly care for those type of cases. So he was cool. Like I said, I told him straight up I wasn't going to do it. Now, I did have a referral person for him. I had 2 actually. And when it happened before, I have a person that he doesn't mind doing those type of jobs. You know, it doesn't bother him. For another mother, she might say the same thing I do. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. You know, and again, it's up to each person. In and of itself, like I told him, it wasn't anything wrong with the transaction. And actually, it was another point in this story too. It was one more. I'm telling y'all, I can tell y'all stories all day long. Another point with this one was he took it initially to UPS. So guess what UPS did? Did they do it correctly? Did UPS notarize this document correctly? Put a 1 if you think they did. Put a 0 if you don't think they did. Did UPS notarize the document correctly? Now, I knew what to do but didn't want to do it. Did UPS do it correctly? Tell me. Tell me, guys. Did they do it correctly? Just what do you think? He had to take this letter back to his attorney. Did they do it correctly? Yeah. Tell me. Did they do it correctly? They didn't. They did not. So what should they have did? They should have notarized the child's signature. The statement was from the child, not the father. But UPS didn't know that. And that's okay. They're not trained. Okay? They're not trained. Like most of you aren't trained to do the heavy stuff. You may be a work notary. You may have just got your commission and you don't know what to do. So is that your fault in and of itself? No. But by the same token, do we need to know what we're notarizing out there? Yeah, you do. That's what people are paying you for. So in this particular case, he could not get the document notarized. He could not. They did the document, but they did it incorrectly. Yep. Because they notarized the father's signature and didn't have the child do it. The UPS person told the father, the child cannot be notarized because they're a child. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to do 2 things. I got to stop that. Let me stop right now. Let me focus. So the father got the document notarized at UPS, and the document was notarized incorrectly. So he takes it back to the attorney. The attorney tells him, no, we don't need your signature notarized. The child is the one making the statement. So when he called me back, now this is the second time he called me. The first time I didn't tell him all that. I wasn't going to do it because I wasn't even available. I gave him somebody else's number. So he called me back the second time today with this UPS story and asking me, was I available? I said, yeah. He said, I wouldn't have imagined that they wouldn't know what to do. I said, yeah, they're not trained like we are. I said, we're professional notaries. There's a difference. I said, they typically just get their commission from the state, and then UPS has asked him to do it, da 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 da. And he was like, oh, because I wonder why she didn't ask him to sign it. Now he's even saying that. He said, I wonder why she didn't ask the child to sign the document. Her Ohio ID cannot be expired. Okay, very good, Patricia. You know your state law. As long as you know what your state says and you're not just saying that. Because I got something I got to handle right now. Somebody is thinking one thing, but they don't really know what the law says. So you got to know what the law says. So if you know that per your handbook, get it. I'm proud of you. So back to my story. So anyway, UPS notarized the father's signature. So then he asked me about it. I tell him whatever. So I go back to my part in it that, yeah, explaining the difference between us and UPS, why you going to pay me more. Because he probably went there and he said, because they were open. So he's traveling, and now he got to come back in town and get the document re-notarized because it was done incorrectly by UPS. No shade to UPS, those are my people. But again, they're just not trained, like many of you, to know what to do. Okay, that's why we have mentorship and training. People say, you don't need training. Training is a hustle. Trainers are only doing that because they're not notarizing. No, I'm actually notarizing, and I'm actually I'm actually a trainer, coach, mentor, all that, and I actually notarize documents. So it's not because I don't want to notarize that I'm a trainer. I'm a trainer because I want you to do it right, and I want you to have a successful business. That's why I train. Okay. Now, you may not always like my methods, and that's okay too. I may not be your trainer because I'm not going to just give you the answer. I'm going to teach you how to do it, and it takes longer to teach that way. It really does. So back to this guy really quick. So I told him, hey, I'm not doing that notarization. I didn't say it like that. I just said, unfortunately, I don't do those type of notarizations. But I have a couple of people I can refer you to. So I gave him one number the other day. He still had it. And I gave him another number from a client, from another notary that I knew would do it for him. Because I've referred others to him. So again, it's just my personal preference that I don't do those. There's going to be things in your business that you just don't want to do. And you don't have to do every notarization. I've heard some people say, well, you can't turn down a notarization. Yes, I can. My notarization, my commission is on the line here, not yours. So no one gets to tell me what I have to notarize and what I don't do and all of that. No one gets the right to tell me that, and they don't get the right to tell you that either, okay? No one. You get the right to choose what you will notarize, who you're going to notarize for. Now, I'm not going to wake up and say, you know what, I don't like this fact that she's wearing red. I'm not going to notarize her documents. Yeah, we're not going to do that. But there may be other valid reasons why I don't feel comfortable doing certain types of notarizations, okay? And you better take your time out there. If you're doing a power of attorney and you get the feeling like I told y'all last week, I don't even think I got a chance to tell y'all the story. But last week I had one where I couldn't do it, and I told her, once I feel mom is more aware of what she's signing, I'll come back. I'll gladly come back. But I was not just notarizing it because the girl wanted me to. Mom was pushing back, and anytime you get any resistance or hesitation, no. Sometimes I'm able to read the room. Maybe mom is medicated or has dementia or something like that. Or maybe nonverbal. There are different ways that you can just tell with some experience. But I don't just notarize. If mom has any hesitation, we're not doing it. And that's what happened. So I told this young lady. So she said, well, how much do I owe you? I said, you don't owe me anything. And that was my fault because, one, I didn't ask for the documents filled out. Part of my screening questions are, one of them is the documents completed? And I didn't ask that because it was a third party that made the appointment, and I was just rushing that day. Rushing will cost you. It will cost you time. It will cost you money. Take your time. Take your time. Okay? Let's see what else we got in the comments. So we said, hey to Ava. Lisa Patricia says, no, absolutely not, per Ohio guidelines. So she went to check her handbook. She said, I made her double check. Yes. Can you RAB? I don't know what RAB is. I don't know what that is. So you might, if you don't explain that really quickly, I'm going to have to delete you. So I think you clarify EYEEIY. I'm going to have to delete you, okay? Really quick, because I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, Melon Express, how are you? She's saying hey to everyone. Yeah, so that was one. So I had to turn it down. So I turned it down because it was a minor. Mom didn't know the child singing rap song. I don't know what that is, babe. You're gonna have to go. So I'm gonna have to remove you. Okay, I'm gonna remove you because I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah. So that one I had to let it go because I don't notarize for if mom and dad are at odds and they kind of sneaking a child over to notarize something for the attorney. I just personally don't like to get into that. Dad didn't live here in the state. Mom lives here in the state. She ain't coming to knock on my door and say, hey, why you notarize this for my child? That's just my own personal opinion, okay? Again, was there anything wrong with the notarization? No. Is there any reason why the child could not decide they want to go live with their father? I don't know. Again, that's not my call. I don't get into all that. I'm not a social worker, and I'm just not getting into all that. So my answer was no. That was number one. Second thing I had to decline today is because of the weather. So I had a client. She called. I was like, hey. I said, yeah, we're actually not doing any mobile service today due to the weather. And she's like, oh, well, if I can get it done by this time? So I already told you no. So she's going to keep on pushing. So I was like, okay, well, we can schedule it for 3, but if the weather turns bad, then we won't be able to do it. I said, if you want to come to me, and then Jeff was like, well, what if she gets stuck here? Because I told Jeff I didn't want him to get stuck in her house. He said, well, what if she get over here and she gets stuck? I said, well, she don't have to pull in the driveway. She can go to the street, and then that's on her. But he didn't want her to come here either, which was making sense. Now, at that point, I was thinking about my money. I'm like, well, it's up to her, too, because if she wanted, she was already out in and she was leaving work. So if she wanted to spin through here right quick and get her document notarized, who am I to say no? But we ended up not doing it. So I said no. So there are going to be many times when you have to say no to a notarization. There are going to be many times, for example, it may be something like I already mentioned against your morals that you just don't agree with. No one can make you. I've heard people say, well, if you don't have a legal reason. Not true. I explained to the client, so if you want to call somebody and say, hey, she would notarize my document because of A, B, and C, I have the right to do that, Also, you would not want to notarize in case the client is incapacitated and you're not able to determine that, yes, they want to sign that document. If you feel like they're being coerced, it's a no, okay? So don't let anybody bully you into thinking that you have to notarize every single thing that comes in front of you. And again, I'm all in how you say it too. I tend to push back on the law. If it's something that I can reasonably push back on, like with the expired ID, people will push you. Well, it's me in the picture. It's me in the picture. Well, if your state says you cannot accept an expired ID, then the answer is no. Can you take this on my telephone? Can you take a picture, use my ID, the picture, I lost my copy? No, if your state doesn't allow for that, a digital copy of the ID, you cannot do it. So there are going to be plenty of times you have to say no. So being a business owner, and even for me as a notary educator in this space, it's hard to help people sometimes because everybody wants you to say yes. They feel entitled. Any kind of pushback, they think you're being mean, you're being rude. No, and part of how I teach, and I'm an educator, is I don't just give you the answer. I'm going to make you work for it, especially if I think you should know that, and even if you are new and I've given you the resources and tools to win, I want you to use those tools, and then I'm coming in as a resource to help you to figure it out. Let's talk it out. Let's coach it out. Let's do it that way. But don't call and ask me, can I take an expired ID? No, I'm going to push you back to your handbook. What does your handbook say? Now, if you have read your handbook and it's still not clear, we can talk it out as two grown women, a grown woman, grown man, business owners. And that's what mentorship is. That's what coaching is. Okay, we can talk it out like that. But, yeah. And I'm not going to allow for disrespect in our group. We are going to have a conversation. But I think we need to really understand what mentorship is and what it is not. And that's why it took me such a long time to offer mentorship, because I already knew what it meant. For the average person, mentorship means I need you to tell me everything to do step by step. I'm not going to open a book. I'm not going to learn anything. I'm not going to try to enhance my skills or learn this business. I want you to tell me every single thing, every step of the way. I'm not your mentor. I'm an educator. And that means you do something, I do something to fill in the gaps. You do something, I do something. okay? I'm not going to sit here. I don't have time. I'm running my own notary business. I just don't. So once I give you the skills, now you need the tools. You need to kind of look it up yourself, and then we can have a conversation about it. I'm all for it, coming in and tweaking it, and helping you. Well, you know what? Have you thought about it this way? Even with that, I had a conversation with a young lady last week. It's very easy for me to just say, the sky is blue. Yes or no. Do this, do that. That's easy. The hard part is actually educating you where you can go ahead and do it yourself next time, where you don't have to call me. If you have to wait around and call me and ask me every single thing, you will never progress in your business. Because by the time you calling me and asking me, hey Kimmi, can I do ABC? Hey Kimmi, how much is this? Hey Kimmi, hey Kimmi, hey Kimmi. By the time you do that, your client is gone. They are gone to the person that know how to handle their business, okay? And that's just facts. That's just facts. They are gone. So you need to learn this business yourself. You don't need to be in Facebook. What does it say? I'm at the signing table, guys, help me out. No, if you have a good knowledge of something, then yeah, that's what we do at Notary Educators, the mentorship program. You get stuck. Matter of fact, we encourage you to prepare your documents before you go out there. How about that? Okay? I want you prepared before you even go out there. Not just get out there and then from the table, you and Facebook talking about what does this mean? And it mean all this asking you is to print your name. That means you don't need to be doing no signings, okay? And I get a lot of slack from you guys about that. Well, I already did one and it went well. I'm happy for you, but you're not going to get a lot of chances where you get a chance to keep on playing with these people and their documents, okay? I had several people. Well, I already did one and it went well. Like, I got you, Kimmi. You didn't get me. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you're just trying to fake it till you make it, and one signing went well and the rest of them did not, who's going to be got in the end? Y'all remember that old Aretha Franklin song, Who's Zooming Who? Okay? So don't ever think you got one over on me. I'm not even here to get one over on you. I'm here to teach you how to be a great notary, how to make money, how to succeed in this business, how to have longevity in this business. That's what I'm here for. What are you here for? What are you here for? Are you here because you want to be spoon-fed everything, or you want to be about your business? Okay? I have 15 different courses, and they are all designed to help you to be the best doggone notary out there. And I know who's done the training, not proper English. Let's rephrase. I know who has completed the training and who has not. Okay? I can tell by the questions you ask if you have done training or not. I can tell. I can tell by the questions that you ask. Now, is there anything wrong with you asking questions? Of course not. Of course not. I ask questions. I still ask questions. But certain things, I already know that you don't know what you're doing. If you put in my Facebook, what goes here, and it says notary signature or notary's name, you don't need to be doing signings. Okay? I need to do a whole series on that. You don't need to be doing signings. If it's asking you what goes here, and it says client's driver's license number, and you don't put anything, you don't probably need to be doing signings, because that's not going to be acceptable. That's an error. You need to take time and read. And a lot of times I may tell you that. I'm going to push back and say, well, did you read the instructions? Or if you put something in there and I'm looking at it, I'm like, you didn't read the instructions, or you didn't read them with clarity. When I was little, and Jeffrey and I were talking about this the other day, you sure do. You got to read. You got to read. Thank you, Lisa. Yep, you got to. Jeffrey and I was talking the other day, and when we were younger in school, I don't even know if they still do this. Some of you parents might can talk to this. I don't know. But we had a whole week of testing. And I know they still do testing, because I know the Atlanta testing thing went bad, a few years ago. So I know they still do testing, but do they still do like reading comprehension? There was a whole section of reading comprehension where you had to read something and you were tested on how well you comprehended it. Okay, reading comprehension. That's lacking today. And I know that with ChatGPT, you can have all these fancy degrees and all this and all that, but sometimes just basic common sense knowledge. And I don't even like to say common sense, because I don't like when people say common sense, because what's common for me may not be common for you. I hate that term, common sense. But if you don't have a basic understanding, let's say that if you have a basic understanding of certain things, then you don't know it. You just don't know it. So that's why me being the educator that I am in the notary space, I'm not just going to tell you. I want you to learn. If you're not accustomed to reading, I want you to learn how to read those instructions. You have to. That's the make or break of our business. And most of us don't want to read. I'm not the biggest reader unless it's something I'm super interested in. I read because I have to. I have no choice. But yeah, no, you have to read those instructions. You have to. And some companies now, and you already know this, guys, they're sending out 3-4 pages of instructions. 3 or 4 pages of instructions. And why do they have to do that? Because we don't know what we're doing. They'll put on there, line 1, write the date. Line 2, sign your name. Line 3, ask the signer for ID. Line 4. And you sitting there like, what in the world? Trakita says, amen. Working in the public, I see it every day. Grown folks not reading. For real. So we don't like to read, but in our business, guys, it's 90% reading. It's 90% reading. And there are certain companies right now, I won't even take their jobs because there's so many pages of instructions. I'm just like, I don't even feel like that. That's a lot of pressure. When I first started, they didn't really have instructions. You just kind of, either you knew it or you didn't. But because of so many people becoming notaries and, again, the lack of training out there, your state gives you the commission. You just go do your thing and you figure, I got this. I can wing it. They don't even have, they have to give 10 pages of instructions. So 10 pages of instructions, only 2 might actually be the signing of the documents. Hey, Tisha Ross, how are you? Good evening, Kimmi. You're such a blessing and encouragement. Thank you. Oh, it's my pleasure, girl. So that's just facts, though. That's just facts. So, I'm big on, like I said, some people may not like it. And if you sign up for mentorship or anything I do and it wasn't the way you thought, it's okay. We're going to be friends at the end of the day. I don't even have time. As I was stating earlier with the mentorship program, that's why it took me so long to roll out one, because I knew what people really meant when they said mentor. They would be in my comments all the time. Hey, Kimmi, can you be my mentor? Hey, I love how you teach. Can you be my mentor? Can you be my mentor? Mentor became such a dirty word at one time in the notary space. And a lot of people shied away from it because they also knew what it meant. It meant, I'm not going to do anything. I want you to tell me everything to do. And you can't pay me enough to run your business and my business. Technically, that's what that is. You want me to run your notary business plus my notary business. You want me to price your services for you. You want me to tell you what your state laws are. You want me to tell you what supplies you need when I've already listed everything out for you in the courses. So again, I want to invite everyone to be a part of mentorship, but only if you're ready to do the work. And again, I know who has did the work. I already know when you ask questions. And I'm not mad at you for asking questions. That's what we do. That's what I do. I answer questions all day from 9 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night in our mentorship program. That takes trump or precedence over everything else. Is a mentorship program. I answered all my YouTube comments today. I got caught up, but from a month ago. Everything I do, all my time is spent over in mentorship. Now, I do answer my questions on YouTube. I'm going to try to get better at that, at least doing them weekly, at least weekly. But most of the time, I'm over in mentorship. People are trying to learn the business. People have jobs. They have assignments. So, I don't have a lot of time. So I'm only one person. We have a team, but I answer my YouTube comments. I answer all the comments, all the emails and stuff. So I have to really use my time wisely. I really do. So I will tell you about the mentorship program if you're not aware, because many of you are new. I see that. The mentorship is called the Notary Business Success Mentorship Program. It is only $47 per month, but it teaches you how to properly notarize documents. What's the difference between an acknowledgement, a jurat, how to start your specialty general notary work in nursing homes and hospitals, how to do estate packages with the trust and living wills. I cover all of that. I have ink fingerprinting included. I even have an apostille course included in the mentorship program. Apostille courses will cost you anywhere from $200 to $400. My course is included in the program. You can buy it separately. All the things I'm talking about, you can buy them separately. If you'd like to, coupon code is WIN2025, WIN2025. And but all of the courses I'm mentioning are included. So you can cancel at any time. The loan signing agent A to Z is included. The Google My Business course. So everything is designed to get you up and running in your business at again a low flat fee of $47. If you've been watching any time, you'll say, well, how can you do it for $47? It's just like any of these other beautiful communities that like each one teach one, each one help one. So as you're putting your $47 in, everybody putting their 47, now I can afford to help you, as a group. And there are other communities, Jamaicans, Mexicans, all these different groups. They all do it. They pool their money together and they help each other, similar to what the mentorship program is. So actually, as I'm helping in the group, many people like Lisa, she's becoming what I call a seasoned notary. She's doing well. Andrea is learning the business. Quite a few. Jasmine, Suzanne. So we got quite a few. I know I'm missing some names. We got two Donnas always in there. So we got a lot of people. We got another Lisa. So people are really trying to help each other. They give tips. We got some men that have joined the mentorship, and I'm excited about them. And that's going amazing. So, and they're taking the bull by the horns. They're actually looking at the courses, So I went on a little tangent over here, which is probably not the right place to do it, but I know many of you are interested in mentorship. So I want to give you a sneak peek at reality of what the mentorship program is. We're going to talk about it tonight, live also in the actual mentorship program, which is at 7. So you still got time to join if you want to join mentorship and join the live session tonight. Again, that's gonna be 7 p.m. Eastern. Tonight we're doing certified copy. Now tonight's gonna be a little long, but I'm hoping people got a little time because of the snow, because it is what it is. This topic is long. And I'm gonna get ready to get out of here because I gotta go and do a little bit more preparation, but tonight's topic is long. Lisa said, come on over, guys. You won't regret it. Yeah, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, so tonight's topic is going to be a little involved because we got to learn how to notarize these certified copies correctly. And again, it's very important, especially when you start doing apostilles. And people ask you even if it's not an apostille, but that's why I always say you don't have to be a notary to facilitate apostilles. You don't have to be, but if you are one, it makes all the difference in the world. Because you're going to see tonight, it's a lot of different things that we're asked to do as notaries. Okay. I was like, this should have been a whole course. I mean, anytime you got 9 to 10 slides on something, that's a course, right? I could sell that. But it's going to be over at Mentorship. You can catch the replay if you don't make it tonight and you do want to join us later on, you can. We also have the Start Your Notary Business book if you would like to check that out. And I do need to go because people are starting to log onto my Zoom. But you got time to join. You got 20 minutes to join the Zoom. So guys, I'm going to get out of here, and I will thank you again, Lisa, for all your support. I appreciate it. You're doing amazing. I will see you all again soon. All things notary, check out notaryeducatorsllc.com. I hate to leave when I see so many of you joining, but I have to go to mentorship right now. So I will be in touch, okay? Bye.